I think what's really sad in this story is the fact that I've got to see a really ugly side of Rodrigue Touré and of, I guess, human nature in general. Because during the ordeal, despite the fact that he tried to deny it in his letter later on, you could see his imprint because some of the details, some of the statements that were written and sent out were definitely details that only he and I would have known or would have talked about. And some of them, he used them, or actually all of them, to really hurt me on purpose, calculated, and for nothing. There was absolutely no reason. I'm going to take an example. There were a message that Felix Caboret, his friend, forwarded to me, and or the Arno, whoever Arno is. And in the message, it was saying that in French we say maudit, which means that it means you're cursed by your family. Someone cursed you out, and you kind of cast away. That's kind of what I mean. It's really bad when we say that, especially when Africans use that term. So he's saying in the message that the guy Arno shouldn't listen to me because I'm a maudit, and that even my family rejected me, and all those kind of things. And the reason why I wanted actually to mention that today, it's because it's to show how evil Orjitori is. Because the fact he knows that when it comes to my story, because I came out when I was 19, and it's never been a fun story. It doesn't have a happy ending. I'm very much isolated from my family, and it's true. My father has had some very harsh words sometimes for me, and and it's something that I had confided in him. And the reason why actually I had confronted him, it wasn't that I was crying about it. It's because I remember specifically, he his brother was getting married. He had two brothers getting married in 2021, and it was for both marriages, one in May and one in December. And for the one in May, I was kind of broke at that time, and I remember I had to make a choice between either sending money to my mother or buying him a plane ticket, as I had promised him I was going to do. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I decided to choose him. And I told him that it was important for me to do so because he was lucky that his family, even though he wasn't out, his family, he still had his family. He was still invited to his brother's wedding. They still wanted him to be there, and that was a chance that I didn't have, or and it made me happy that another Black African gay person could enjoy the love and the affection and the time with his family, since also because it was the first time he was going back home since he had moved to New York. So for all these reasons, that's when I confided in him. I said, okay, listen, this is what happened to me, and trust me, it's really hard to be alone. I love my family. I used to idolize my father, and to not have that bond with my family, and especially because I'm so far away, it's painful at times, and therefore, if I can help someone not feel that pain, well, by all means, And for my mom, I'll figure out something. I'll just work triple, and I'll make everybody happy. So I gave him literally everything I had. He got his plane tickets. He went to the wedding, and when he was there, he will call and be extra affectionate, and he will send me songs and stuff, and I will send him even more money. So when his brother got married, when his second brother got married, it was the same thing. Uh, and at the time, he had started acting up. He wasn't even in the apartment. He had disappeared. But I paid for clothes for his father, for his brothers, suits for the wedding. Um, I gave him money, and he paid for the wedding dress for his sister-in-law. uh, you know, I packed the things. And the funny story was that I didn't know the sizes of his of his family. So I think I looked at pictures and I was like, okay, I think this is the size, and I actually got it perfectly right. Apparently, I remember when the luggage was leaving to go to Cote d'Ivoire, I told him, hey, listen, you didn't get anything for your mom, and I just feel like it's wrong. So I went into my collection, and I took out, I think, a ring and maybe a bracelet, something. I mean, nice jewelries, and I said, just put it in there. That's for your mom. At least she'd get something also from you, because again, that was my uh, that's where I was coming from the fact that if I couldn't be invited to a wedding, if nobody was asking me, hey, you know, do you want to participate into any of your brother's weddings? At least, at least, I, I could do it for you, because first of all, it makes me happy. I'm still African. I know the importance of the ceremonies, and like I said, I just didn't want anyone to go through what I'm going through, less and less as I'm getting older. But the loneliness, the separation, it's not fun. So only he and I had that conversation, that kind of deep level conversation where I expressed my feelings. And what did he do? He used it in the extortion schemes to hurt me by saying that, well, look, even his family, even his father rejected him because the words that he was using. Because I was mentally ill was one of the things that he mentioned. And I read this, and I thought that can't be, because he and I know that the context, the circumstances that led to me revealing a painful experience of my my adult existence, and I reveal it to make him happy, to yeah, simply put, to make him happy. And in return, oh, by the way, never said thank you. And I swear to God, never even said thank you. Oh wow, I'm no. It was like it was obvious. It was a given. But beyond even not saying thank you, and then use that to hurt me. And that person goes around and says that he's a man of God, and that God loves him and he loves God. If you read the content of what he wrote, I mean, later on he tried to distance himself from the whole thing by saying, "Oh, I don't know who's who and who," but he forgot one thing: is that some of the details that he mentioned, or that were mentioned, were details that only he and I would know, could know. And even if he hadn't written those texts himself, Felix Cabouret or the Arnaud person could not have, out of the black hats, figure out or guessed that, oh, this is what was happening. He would have had to tell somebody. If he wasn't the one writing himself, he would have to tell somebody, hey, listen, he doesn't speak to his family, he's alone, and then let's use it to defame him, to slander him, to trash him. How can someone repays kindness, affection, empathy by such horrible, disgusting display of the worst, the worst picture, the worst character that someone can show? I don't understand. And I confronted him later on steps of the church where he goes every Sunday. And I asked him those questions. I said, I just want to know, there's nobody here. You and I, we know each other. How could you? And he just stood there and he looked at me. He just stood there and he looked at me. Quiet, silence, as always. Just to show me how much he despised, or still despises me. I wrote those horrible things, I said those horrible things, I know it's a lie, you're asking me about it, and I don't care. I really don't care. Because he's right. What can I do? What could I have done to him? Nothing. This was just one of the examples. There are many more.